Now, why do we use present perfect simple to talk about our experience? The reason is, and this is a little confusing, but it's important to understand. The reason is we are talking about our lives, and our lives are not finished. So we are talking about a time period that isn't finished. And this is important because sometimes we want to talk about our experience in a shorter time period. And again, a shorter time period that isn't finished. Now, what's a time period that isn't finished? Well, like I said, our lives are not finished. What's another example? Today. Today is not finished. This week is not finished. This year, this month, this season. So right now it's spring for when I'm making this video. So this month, well, right now it's May. So May is not finished. If you are talking about something that happened in this time period, we use present perfect simple because the time period is not finished. I'll give you some examples. My car has broken down 3 times this week. I have seen that movie 6 times this year. I have been to Mexico this year. I want to teach you about some time expressions that are a little special. If I say this week, I am talking about the calendar week. Usually this week starts on Monday and finishes on Sunday. But today is Thursday. And if I want to talk about last Thursday until today, this is called in the last week. Now, if I say in the last week, this is an unfinished time period. So I use present perfect simple to talk about my experience in this time period. In the last week, I haven't seen her. So again, that means last Thursday until today, I haven't seen her. Another example, I haven't seen that movie in the last month. Well, today is May 20th, so in the last month means April 20th until today. But in English, this has an unfinished time meaning, so we need to use present perfect to talk about our experience in this time. So, really, we use present perfect simple to talk about our life experience because our lives are not finished. So we are talking about actions that have happened in an unfinished time period. Well, this is also popular for shorter time periods. And like I said, today, this week, this year, in the last week, in the last month, in the last year, these are all popular unfinished time expressions. Now, what do we do if we say a finished time expression? Well, today is not finished, so we use present perfect simple to talk about that. But if I say yesterday, it is not good grammar to use present perfect. If I say yesterday, my focus is on a finished time. I have to use past simple. I have to use the past tenses if I'm talking about a finished time. So, I'll give you some examples. Did you go to Mexico last year? Now, last year is finished. If I change that to this year is not finished. And listen to the difference. Have you been to Mexico this year? I saw that movie 6 times last month. Well, like again, this month I told you is May. Last month means April. But if I'm talking about April 20th until today, this is an unfinished time period in English. I have seen that movie 6 times in the last month. Last example, they had 3 tests last week. Well, last week is a calendar week. But if I want to talk about last Thursday until today, this is called in the last week, and this is not finished. They have had 3 tests in the last week. So hopefully that helps you understand present perfect simple to talk about experience.